Hello and welcome to a new video. My name is Smriti and today we are joined by a very special guest, my mother.
Hey!
This is Anu Sant. She is my mum. She has featured on this channel once before, but today she is here to talk to you about her favorite books of the year so far. Because mom, how many books have you read so far?
53 and I'm on my 54th.
Oh my god, that's amazing. And mom, how many books did you read last year?
40.
Oh, okay. But anyway, okay. So we are going to talk about her favorite books of the year so far. So, mom, how come you read so many books this year? Please tell first.
So I guess again, I always credit you for that. So I got on to Goodreads and there was something called a challenge that you need to put for yourself. So last year I put 36 books. I thought I'll read maybe about 3 books in a month, but I ended up reading 40. And then this time again I said, okay, let me again be little not too hard on myself, so I made it 36 again, but I've already finished 53 books.
Killing it. Killing it.
And each time I have to say that I've finished so many books, and I quickly go back to Goodreads and I say I've finished reading it, and I feel so good. So
I know.
thank you.
Yay! Exciting. So cool, mom. How many books do you have today to recommend for us?
You said 3 or 4, or 5, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in themes so that I can talk about more books and also tell you what I felt.
Okay, amazing. So let's just get straight to it. So I'm gonna exit the screen, and it's just gonna be my lovely mother Anu Sant, and she's gonna give you some amazing recommendations.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for being here and thank you for having me here. And thanks to Santreed and Smriti for letting me be here today. So, as I mentioned, I've read about 53 books this year, which has been quite a milestone for me because I haven't been reading so much in the past few years. And I'm already on my 54th book, so excited. And here I am trying to talk to you about some of my favorites that I've read so far. So let me begin with a literature which is more around the theme of LGBTQ, queer, and gay sensibilities. And for me it was new because I think these books really helped me gain better insight and awareness around their lives, and I think it is beautiful. Some of these books were written so well. The first one that I want to mention is The Song of Achilles. There the relationship between Achilles and Patroclus is so well done, and I can't talk about it enough to say how beautiful and how heartwarming, as well as how full of ethos and all of it. So it was really, really well done. And the second series of books around the similar topic is the Heartstopper series. There are about 4 books, and it's set in contemporary time. The story is about 2 boys, Nick and Charlie, who are in high school. One is out and one is still wondering what he needs to be kind of clear about. And it's again so beautifully done. So I highly, highly recommend that. And on the first topic, when I started reading about the Greek mythology, I got so intrigued that I asked Smriti, what more can I read to understand Greek mythology? So I read Olympus by the Devdutt Pattanaik, and I also am reading now Stephen Fry's Mythos. So that's about trying to go deeper in the Greek mythology stuff. So the next theme of books is around nonfiction and about self-help. And the greatest myth that was broken for me personally was that multitasking is not a thing. I used to really feel proud that I can do multitasking, and women especially are very good at multitasking. And now when I see everyone around, they're on their phone, they're trying to do multiple things. But what really is so true, that multitasking is not a thing. And the book that really talked so much in depth about it was The One Thing. And the other book which goes hand in hand with that is Deep Work by Newport, sorry. The third set of books that I read, which is around the theme of memoirs. The first one that I can talk about is The Shoe Dog, a book which is written so beautifully. I think more than an entrepreneur or a businessman, I think this person is a brilliant writer, Phil Knight, and he's written it so beautifully. And what he talks about is that work is work. Yes, it's important. You need to have passion, you need to have a drive and all of that. But what he talks throughout the book is relationships, and that he has done work and has got the best relationships with friends. And people have stayed with him through his journey, and it's so beautifully done. And I really, really liked the way that it was written. And the second one, contrasting to the style, is these set of 5 books which are written by Ruskin Bond. They are largely young adult or maybe children books, but it talks about his early childhood, the grief, and the turmoil that a little boy of 10, age between I think 10 to 21, for his early school days to when he went off to college and he studied. So that's the period that he's covered in these 5 cute little books. It's very well painted, and I think it's illustrated as well. So really, really heartwarming. So I would highly recommend them. So the fourth theme is around translated literature, and these are translated from foreign languages. One was Japanese and then Korean. So the first one I talk about is The Kitchen, and attached to it was another short story called The Moonlight Shadow, again written by the same author. And such a cute name she has, Banana Yoshimoto. And I was telling Smriti that I don't think I ever would have chanced upon this book had it not been for her recommendation. Both these short stories talk about grief and loss, and how this girl overcomes her loss. She's lost her parents and then her grandmother. And The Kitchen talks about the warmth that she feels in the kitchen, which reminds her of her grandmother, and that's how she loves everything to do with the kitchen. And then she meets this friend of hers who also knew her grandmother, and the relationship that develops between them. And so beautifully done. So it seems that both of them are there for each other, but they're still not in each other's face, and how they help each other overcome their sets of grief. So The Moonlight Shadow is also about grief. It's about this girl, and I won't give you spoilers as to what it is about, but it's about how you, when you lose someone and you don't have closure, and what is it that you really need to do to kind of come to terms, one, with the act, and then how do you really come to closure with understanding this has already happened, and then you move to acceptance, and then maybe letting the person go. So it's really beautiful. It's all about 50 pages, but in that it spoke so much to me, and I think I was in tears at the end of it. So it's beautiful. The second book in the translated literature is this Korean book called The Hen Who Dreamed to Fly. It's about this hen who always wanted kids because she never could sit on her egg and hatch them, and how she goes about her life and what happens to her, and all the motherly feelings that she has. So I could relate to them a lot. Again, a very cute little novella with lots of illustrations, beautifully done. So the fifth and the final theme of books that I like to talk about is what my current obsession is around the law of attraction. And a friend of mine recommended these books to me. It's called the Sara series, which has got 3 books. It's a young adult series of books which really talks about the complex topic of law of attraction and makes it so simple for anybody to understand, and it's good for adults as well. So it's about this girl Sarah, and she finds this wise person who talks to her, which is a wise owl called Solomon. And these three books are all about her friends and her relationships and her relationship with Solomon, and how he deciphers this entire concept of law of attraction to her so that she can really have joy and fulfillment in her life. So it's really well done. And to add to that is the other book that I have read, which is Ask and It's Given. It's a concept which is very, very alien to me and very new to me, as to how can I just ask for something and it will be given. But that's what it says, right? So do read it. It's quite a revelation, and you will be able to see things in a different light of everything that you're experiencing. So highly recommended. And what really started this off for me when I read this book called The Secret, I felt it was a little mumbo jumbo, very frankly, but that's when I spoke to a friend and she said, why don't you read these books? And a special mention to this amazing book called The Atlas of the Heart by Brené Brown. So for me, it really gave me a language to express emotions. It talks about 87 emotions, where typically I would really work with three, that I'm happy, I'm sad, or I'm mad. It allowed me to really unearth these 87 emotions and related emotions which we really don't pay attention to. So it is a huge um, treasure of getting emotionally literate. And then when I added them to the Law of Attraction Sarah series and Ask and It's Given, it all talks about emotions, it all talks about feeling good. So it really wrapped up this entire space for me. So if you're interested in something like this, do pick these books up. It is really, really, I think, empowering. That's the word I could use. So I know I've been ranting and going around for a while. I'm sure Smithy is going to edit a lot of these portions out. Uh, Again, thank you for actually listening, and if you've come so far, because it's really my first solo video. So if I've made any errors or faux pas, then I think just let them go. I want to end by special mentions. I can't not talk about these two books. One is If Bale Street Could Talk, and the second one is The Midnight Library. Both of them started a little slow for me to begin with, but then I really got, so into them. I think Bale Street, Smriti's already spoken about. Midnight Library, I like to mention. It's about this girl who's transitioning between life and death, and somehow she's given this opportunity to work with what if scenarios, and she works and lives these what if scenarios to figure out if this would happen, what would happen, right? So I'm somehow even reminded of Nasiruddin Shah's Ye Hota To Kya Hota movie that he's written, because it's all about including the reader in it to understand what the different scenarios in that person's life could be. And if you were given a choice, which option would you choose? So beautiful. It's a very serious book, but really, really beautifully written.
All right, so thanks so much, Mom, for your recommendations. They were amazing as always. I'm falling on the floor, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, if you liked this, then I hope that you subscribe. This is part of my end of the year series, so there are some videos here that you can check out, including a video that I've done with my mom in the past where I talk with her and, like, yeah, just fun times. So yeah, that's it for now. And yeah, Mom, anything that you have to say? Okay, she's giving you kisses. All right, see you in my next video. Bye.